Hey, I'm Prometheus and I'm back with another episode of Bor-Kothoki. Today I'm going to talk about a poem that was written in Hindi during a collaboration attempt. For me, poetry is like a dream which comes to me only once and it is the manifestation of my thoughts at that point of time. Obviously, entering into a collaboration was challenging as it meant changing of my writing style and process. Nabanita helped me a lot during this process. The poem that I am going to recite today is neither the first draft nor the last draft of the poem. However, for some reasons, I like this draft, perhaps because of the imperfections which reflects my state of mind at that point of time. The disconnected thoughts occurring in our mind out of nowhere, like water flowing down in a waterfall to reach a calm pool. Since this was a collaboration, I asked what Nabanita was feeling. She thought for a while and replied, a weird thought of dying and relieving. I kept few dry leaves in front of me, a beautiful combination of green and yellow, as if a mixture of life and death, making death more beautiful. I'm sitting in my veranda with all the hustle and bustle just outside my window, with all the random people around on the roads, in buses, in cars, in apartments. I'm wondering what stories they might be having, which are the ones that are similar as mine. The thought was very attractive. It was poetry in itself. It was especially attractive to me because I often get lost in my thoughts, looking out of the window, taking refuge away from living. For sedentary people like me, this was an easy collaboration. Firstly, it talked about a sedentary feeling, and secondly, I just needed to translate the poem. That's all. Before I go into the poem, I would like to thank Nabanita for allowing me to use this poem in my podcast. I would also like to thank Anchor for providing this beautiful platform. Anchor not just allows us to post our podcast but also distributes them in various platforms. For those of you who don't know Nabanita, Dr. Nabanita Borah is a physics scholar and a beautiful poet, a strong-willed woman with a childlike smile. She is one of the few women who inspire me. The poem is yet to be titled, as it is not the final draft of the poem. I would also like to mention here that Nabanita writes a beautiful series of poems called Torah. Someday I will try to bring her into conversation about this series. So let's go into the poem. एक ख्याल आया मन में सुबह जब आँख खुली तुम्हारी तरफ देखा कुछ मुरझाए से पत्ते जो मैंने बटोरी थी अपने बरामदे में देख रही थी बेख्याली में कुछ हरा और हल्का पीला एक खूबसूरत मिश्रण जीवन और मृत्यु का यूं ही मधोशी में खो जाए मौत के आगोश में आने पर होश वापस जीने आएंगे तो क्या जिंदगी हमें बेवफा समझेगी मैं यहाँ बरामदे में बैठे खिड़की के बाहर की दुनिया के शोरगुल से परे अनजान लोग रास्तों और सड़कों में, बसों और गाड़ियों में, घरों और फ्लैटों में, क्या कहानियाँ हैं उनकी। क्या उनमें से किसी की कहानी मेरी है या हूबहू मेरी जैसी है। मैं हमेशा यूं ही खो जाती हूँ अपने ख्यालों में। कितना खूबसूरत होता है यूं मदहोशी में रहना। So that's it for tonight. Please let us know if you like the poem. If you want to be part of this show, please let us know. And thank you for giving your precious time and listening to our podcast. Good night.